Hi.
Hi.
Can you show him your books? Show him your books. Hold up your book. Wait, hold this up. There you go. See what I got? Ta-da! And what else did you get? What other book did you get today? What book did you get? Tell him. There you go. Super Space. Oh, that's so cool, huh? What do you think? Do you like it?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Hey.
You.
Who, me?
Me. You. Me. You. Me. You.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, it's Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. So I have some updates for February because I have finished several books now. As I have already said in previous videos, I'm participating in a romance readathon this month for romancebooks.blog. So all of these are going to be romance books that I'm going to review today. The first one is The Genius by Elin Peer. So I know I said that this was going to be my reward for finishing all these other books this month, but apparently I couldn't wait to read it, so I went ahead and read it. I love all of these Men of the North books by Elin Peer. Every time I talk about these books, I feel like I can just go on. I feel like I do go on and on and on about them, but they're just so good, y'all. They're so good. The characters are relatable, and it's so weird because they're very opposite in so many different ways. The men are like, I don't want to say misogynistic, but I mean, they kind of are. I mean, but it's not in a way that kind of glorifies that. It's kind of in a, well, let's put these two opposite types of people together and see how they can make things work the way that they need to go. This one is 10 years in the future from where the last book ended off. A character that was only 15, she's now 25. She's finished 3 degrees. She's the genius, which is the title of this book. And she's now working for this manufacturer of sex bots. Somebody that she used to have a big crush on when she was 15, he ends up coming in to test out one of these sex bots. He goes in and doesn't even recognize her. He comes in, mistakes her for a sex bot, and she's like, this might be my only chance to have ever like any kind of anything with this guy. I'm gonna seize the day. And so she does. But the kink in the story is that he was literally only days away from going to compete in kind of a gladiator style tournament to win the hand of the next Northland woman who was going to pick a husband or a champion. And so this has been his lifelong dream to win a tournament and get married. And coming with the winning of this tournament is not only a bride and a wife, but also $1 million to go on and start your family. Like a cultural thing that they always do in the Northlands. He knows that he's going to be going away, and she knows that. And so she's like, okay, like I can try to step myself out of this by saying this is purely in the name of research. Of course, they have their trials and tribulations, and they're happily ever after at the end. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a romance, but so no spoilers there. But it was so good. Every one of these books is 5 stars for me. I love this series. I love this author. She's just so talented. This whole world is just so vivid. The characters are just really well done in this whole series. Every single one of these books, and this one was no exception. The next book I have finished is Muffin Top by Avery Flynn. This is the second book in the Hard Again series where the main character is a plus size woman. And what I really liked about this book was, number one, it didn't have the issue I had with the first book with Butterface, which was like, in the first book, she was kind of the ugly duckling in the sense that she's definitely not what people would consider pretty. It just didn't really tell me why specifically Ford liked Gina. Like, what was it about her that really made, she was a successful woman. She ran her own business. She was a wedding planner, and she could put her customers in place, and she could run her mob-tied brothers. She could keep them in line, but we couldn't really get a sense of like what specifically about her really made Ford fall for her. Like, I didn't get a whole lot of that, and I really would have liked to see more of that. But this one did not have that problem. I felt like I really got a good sense of why Frankie Hartigan really liked Lucy. And so I really like that in this book, it did a really good job of making Lucy out to be this powerhouse of a woman. She knows she's overweight. She's been overweight all her life, and she's had to build up those walls to deal with it, attack first so that other people can't make the first laugh, and other people will laugh along with her instead of laughing at her, that kind of a thing. I really thought that it was a really good portrayal of how she is just this very capable and confident woman, and how she keeps her PR clients in line, and how she just doesn't take shit off of anybody. And so I thought it really did a good job about that. Obviously, the romance was really fun too. I really liked the way that their meet cute was done in the very beginning, where she's sitting in a restaurant by herself at a table and she's about to dig into her burger or whatever it is. And some jerk off at a table beside her is like, if you'd eat a salad once in a while, you might lose a little weight and you might look a lot prettier, or whatever douchebag over here is gonna say. He shows up and he's like this big, well-built, really attractive firefighter guy. And he's like, hey babe, like, sorry I'm late for our date. And of course, like, they don't really know each other, not really on a date, but he kind of swoops in to save a day. I don't know, this is a really good, really cute book. I don't know if I gave this 4 or 5 stars. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was a good book. I really enjoyed reading this story. The next book I read, or actually listened to as an audiobook, was Birthday Suit by Lauren Blakely. And this is the one that I had mentioned in an earlier video, that it is a full cast of different narrators playing each individual character in this book, and it was so fun to listen to. Of course, the story itself was good, which, what Lauren Blakely book isn't? She's one of my favorite authors. She's rom-com. She just has a way of just turning a story. Leo and Lulu are the 2 main characters, and Sebastian York voices Leo, Andy Arndt voices Lulu, and there's just so many other narrators that voice every single character in this storyline. And it was just so much fun to be able to differentiate who was who. And I really am really excited about a spin-off story that I noticed was like a free short story for... I can't remember the guy's name that was voiced by Joe Arden, but he was like this little, and I say little, but he was just this super energetic, high speed, like on Red Bull and crack all the time, I guess. Like, he was just always go, 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 go. And I don't know, it was just a cute little kind of a side story that I think is like getting its own little story in and of itself. So that's exciting. I'm definitely going to pick that up. I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. It was good. I really enjoyed it. So the next book I read was 1 Second by Danica Dark, which is the 7th book in the 7 series. And I initially thought that this was going to be a different sibling that hadn't got his own story yet. While that sibling was in the book, obviously all the different characters are all in the books together. It's just like one big, really tight-knit, close family. And they all live together in one big house, and so they all are really close to one another. But while he was there, this was not his story. It actually looped back around to the couple in the first story again, which was the alpha of the pack and his alpha mate. Which it's a man and a woman. There is LGBT representation in this book. So one of the, actually 2 of the pack members are gay, and they end up getting together finally, because the tension has been building throughout the series between these 2. But Austin and Lexi are the leaders of the Weston Pack, and they live in Texas, and they're hearing rumblings of a coming war. Like, basically a big, huge army of rogue wolf shifters are banding together to come in and try to take over and steal land from existing pacts. They're having to kind of prepare themselves and then eventually fight that war. Let me tell you, what I love about this book and this series is that, number one, every single character is so vibrantly written. Every single one of these, if they're talking, you know exactly who it is. You get this sense of family, and you get this sense of like, these people would literally lay down their lives for every single one of their family members at any given time, and they prove that over and over and over again. And the stakes in these books are just like epic level, and the characters that they bring in, like kind of the side minor characters, are just so fun to read. And I love this series. And like literally there was a couple of points in this book where I was literally just sobbing. Like I was just crying, like my heart was just wrenching, like my soul was just tearing apart. This is how good these books are, and I really want to go back and reread my favorite series, which was the Madry series, because there are a couple of characters from that series that make a very, very minor reprisal role in this book. They're not even mentioned by name, but based off of the context, the way that the story is told, you know that that's who it is if you've read all through the series. I'm gonna have to go back and reread that. I'm gonna have to make time because I miss it so much. It's my favorite. So anyway, that's 1 Second by Danica Dark, and I'm just so sad that that series is over, because now that I've finally, after years, literally years, it took me to read this last book. Now I'm like super sad that it's over, and maybe that's why it took me so long, because I didn't want it to end, and so if I didn't read it, then it wasn't going to end, and so now I read it. So now I will be reading Death Trap, which is the third book in the Crossbreed series, which is a spinoff from the Madry series. So Christian Poe is a vampire. He's very snarky, and he's very Irish, and he's total badass, and he was a bodyguard protector for Silver in the Madry series. He didn't get the girl in that series. I guess that's a spoiler alert, but I guess not too big of a spoiler since there's a whole different series he's got over here with a whole different character. He's now in this organization of different breed who fight the worst of the worst criminals of the breed world. And so Raven Black is the main female character in that series, and she is a crossbreed. She's half mage and half vampire. There's a lot of action in these books. It's definitely a kind of an urban fantasy vibe to it, while at the same time it's definitely paranormal romance, because you definitely get the chemistry there between Raven and Christian. And if she doesn't want him, I sure do, because yeah. So anyway, that's all for right now. Those are my updates. I hope to get back with you guys soon for a February wrap up. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I finally have my website up and running. So now all of my book blogging has been exported and imported into a Nerding Out with Nikki website all to its own. So I hope you guys will check that out and subscribe to get the updates on that. And please follow my Facebook page and my Instagram page and my Twitter if you want. So that is all for now. I hope you guys will leave me a comment and subscribe. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what y'all think about these books and if you guys are interested in picking up any of them. We'll see y'all guys later. Bye.